Call License Review Committee. For starters, Mr. Verbeek will tell us how to do a hybrid meeting.
Welcome to our hybrid meeting. Participants in the room, please do not join the meeting in Zoom. Virtual participants, if you lose connection at any point during the meeting, you can reconnect by clicking the link or calling the number in your original email. Members attending virtually, if you are able, please activate your video for purpose of quorum and keep it on for the duration of the meeting. Staff, if you are able, please activate your video when you are speaking. Members of the committee, when you wish to speak, ask questions, or request a roll call vote, please push the person button on your microphone or raise your hand virtually. Those in the room will have their microphone turned on when they are recognized to speak. Those attending virtually can unmute themselves when recognized. When you are finished, all should mute themselves. Members of the public who are registered to speak. Those appearing virtually, your name you entered in Zoom must match the name you entered in registration. You will remain muted until called upon. If you are here in person, when you are called to speak, approach one of the two podiums on either side of the dais and you will be recognized. For all registrants, the clerk will tell you when your time is up. After all speakers, a member of the body may ask you a question. If you need to share documentation with the committee, please send it to the email listed on today's agenda. Thanks. Chair, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. This meeting is governed by Robert's Rules of Order. All speakers wishing to address the committee regarding an agenda item must first complete a registration form and submit it to the city clerk designee. Speakers may speak to the committee only after they're called by the chair, and each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes. After speaking to the committee, please take your seat in the gallery. The public is not allowed to address or respond to speakers or committee members unless they have been recognized by the chair of the committee. Mr. Verbeek, are there any notified absences?
Yes, Alder Miadzi and Assistant City Attorney Steve Brist are notified absences.
Excellent.
You can't hear me speaking.
Okay. Hey, AV friends, folks in the gallery say that they cannot hear us. What can you do to help?
In the gallery, in the room.
Right. They heard you, but they say they can't hear me and Jim.
Oh, there is a volume control on the large touch panel. I don't have that in front of me at the moment. 1 second.
Test, test. You hear me now? Hello? No? I hear me. I hear me amplified.
Yeah, we could be hearing, I don't know where we're hearing ourselves out of.
Dais mics are on the red.
I mean, if you can hear yourself amplified and I'm also hearing you in Zoom, it's obviously going through the system. We'll just have to look up why it seems to be coming out more quietly in the gallery area.
I mean, we definitely need to make it so that people here can hear us. If we talk a lot louder so that the people in the room can hear, is that a problem for the mics or anybody online?
Getting thumbs up.
All right, I'll just be real loud. So let's see. I call this meeting of the ALRC to order at 5:43 p.m. Mr. Verbeek, will you please call the roll?
Alder Revere?
Here.
Alder Revere is here. Alder Miadzi excused. Mr. Barashuk? Here. Mr. Barashuk here. Dr. Reese? Let's see, we lost Dr. Reese. Ms. Farley?
Present.
Ms. Farley's here. Mr. Donnelly?
Present.
Mr. Donnelly's here. Ms. Westra?
Here.
Ms. Westra's here. Alder Knox? Alderman Knox is not here. Chair, we have quorum.
Excellent, thank you. First order of business is approval of the minutes from our May meeting. Committee, what is your pleasure?
Move approval.
A motion from Ms. Westra. Is there a second? Second from Mr. Bruchak. I'm just going to leave your mic on if that's okay with you. All right, so we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from our May meeting. Is there any discussion or any corrections? Hearing none, any dissent? Hearing none, motion carries. Meeting minutes from May are approved. Mr. Verbeek, are there any registrants for general public comment?
We have for the operator subcommittee.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. Next one is approval of the minutes from the operator subcommittee meeting on May 24th. Committee, what is your pleasure?
Move approval.
A motion from Ms. Westra to approve. Is there a second? Second from Mr. Bruchak. Any discussion or corrections? Hearing none. Any dissent? Hearing none. Motion carries. Minutes from the May ILRC Operators License Subcommittee meeting are approved. On to item 1 on the agenda. Item 1 is general public comment. Mr. Verbeek, are there any registrants for general public comment?
I see a Robert Worm and Christina Purius and general public comment. Are you registered just for the 34, 35, and 36, the change of premise, or are you registered for general public comment? Okay.
Is that admin 4?
Yeah.
Am I on?
Yep.
Sounds good to us, but other folks, can you hear? Wonderful. Okay, it's just me and Jim.
Okay. I asked to speak to inform you that I will not be filing the change of premise application that we have today. From the beginning of my ownership 40 years ago, I have worked to help improve the city of Madison. For more than a decade, Come Back In and Essen House has operated with a cabaret entertainment license, and under a PUD restrictions, there were no issues. Throughout this time, we have made it a point of pride and promote positive activity and business in our city, while supporting many service industry workers and local musicians and cultivating a lively music scene in downtown neighborhood. Confusion began in October 2021 with the email from Matt Tucker stating that I needed to submit new site plans for our outdoor seating because supposedly we didn't have permits for any of it. We diligently worked with the city for the next 18 months to get a site plan approved. After many meetings and drawings were submitted and denied and much confusion, city attorney was finally included in the meeting and the seating eating plans were approved. The city's expectation now was to apply for an alteration to add amplified live music. If we were also included details on our 6 events that were approved in 1983 and the volleyball leagues that were approved in 2014. With all the time spent on zoning approvals and finally receiving approvals only in May of 2023, little time was left to get approvals from ALRC, Common Council, and city departments and still be able to use the alteration this year. Planning approvals called for restrictions that have created more hardships and solved problems. These undue hardships would negatively affect the livelihood of some 70 employees and a multitude of local musicians over the years. We received copies of 12 police reports, 8 of which were about live music in the parking lot, in which the neighborhood stated they were told to call police by Matt Tucker and the zoning department. We received no citation from any of these complaints and police reports. These complaints have taken the police away from other more serious matters. I am seeking guidance from the city leadership here. We have worked cooperatively with all departments in an attempt to find a solution, only to meet with frustration and aggressiveness from the city department members. In our 40 years of business, there has never been a reason for our license to be challenged, and it seems that our active block has helped to keep negative influence out of our area. We'd like to find a positive solution so we all can confidently move forward in promoting a positive atmosphere in our community and not be forced out of business. Thank you.
Thank you.
I also have Christina Purius is also registered for general public comment.
I'm ready. Let me start at the beginning of my time working with music at the Comeback Inn. In 2009, I booked the summer patio music 5 days a week from 4 to 7 p.m. The musicians included amplified solo artists. In 2013, an amplified band named Wheelhouse played every Tuesday in the summer on the patio from 5 to 9 p.m. They were energetic. Our patio was packed with guests singing and dancing. The neighbors in the condos would host parties on Tuesdays for this weekly event. We featured our live patio music on social and print media and even made a sign stating 7 days of live music on our building to promote it. In the summer of 2020, we were featured on the news for bringing live outdoor music back on our expansive safe patio. We offered something no one else had. The excitement was seen by the city of Madison. Live outdoor music was our cornerstone, not only throughout COVID, but for 15 years. Towards the end of 2021, we started receiving complaints from the neighbors about the noise. The summer was ending and we learned which bands worked well outside and realized some would do better inside. In May 2022, a city representative began pressing the neighbors to take the route of calling the police when outdoor music was occurring. The neighbors called the police on every musician or band that played outside. We have had musicians play consistently at the same volume and the same time of day and days of the week for over a decade that were being called on. There were 12 case reports. 10 out of the 12 stated the neighbor called due to the statement made by the city representative. 2 out of the 12 police reports stated the volume of music was questionable. 10 reports did not mention the music being disruptive. We were operating with the understanding that our entertainment license covered anywhere alcohol was served, and there were no complaints or issues in those years. In July 2022, we were told by the city attorney we were never approved to have outdoor amplified music and had been in violation for over 15 years. This was the day the music died. Our cornerstone was removed and now the house we built crumbled. Someone dropped the ball here. The license was not regulated by the city or updated by the business. Either way, it created a mess for this community. The new proposal also includes that we cannot have canned amplified music on our outdoor speakers. As you walk downtown, many bars have speakers facing the street or patio playing music. Why can't we do the same thing? Many of them do not have entertainment permits at all. Having live outdoor music in a downtown Madison is not a want, but a need. The city has to choose between being just a college town or a bustling mid-sized city. A neighbor recently sold his nearby condo and the realtor used the Comeback Inn as a selling point. It's unfortunate that renters and tourists walk around the week looking for something to do. New Madisonians will not move downtown if the neighborhood is quiet. They are looking for lively entertainment. I would love to find a compromise within the neighborhood and offer live outdoor music that benefits the community, local businesses, and employees.
Thank you. Are there any further registrants?
There are not.
All right, thank you very much. Next up is disclosures and recusals. So members of the body should make any required disclosures or recusals under the city's ethics code. Are there any disclosures or recusals? Alder Revere.
Thank you, Chair. I wish to be recorded as recusing myself from agenda item number 13, change of agent for the Madison Elks Lodge, as I am an officer of that corporation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is it for general public comment or related to a specific item? There's, I think you register for the specific item for their change of preference. Yeah. So we'll call on you when we get to that item.
I would like to disclose for item 48 that I am a member of the Tenny Lapham Neighborhood Association Council. And so we got a brief presentation from them and wrote a letter in support. Any further disclosures or recusals? All right, moving on. At this time, Mr. Verbic will read off a consent agenda. So this is a list of items where that are non-controversial and have proposed dispositions. He will read the list in brief, then members of the committee can have any items they'd like removed from that. And then he will read the list again of things that remain on it at greater length. Can you give us the proposed consent agenda, please, Jen?
Sure. Here's a proposed consent agenda for ALRC meeting June 21st, 2023. Recommended council to grant operator license application item 2, temporary retail class B, the temporary class B retailer license concurrent with street use permits, items 3 and 4. Change of agent, items 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Entity reorganization, items 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 32, 33, 34, 36, 37, and 38. Change of premises, items 40 and 42. Recommended council to grant with condition, public hearing new license, items 56, 47, and 60. And recommended council to place on file, change of agent, item 5, 21 plus entertainment license, item 63. And refer to next meeting of the ALRC, item number 31, it's entity reorganization.
All right, Mr. Bruchak.
Yes, I'd like to get more information about item 63, pull it from the consent agenda if necessary. Because as of, I think, 2 weeks ago, this applicant was adamant about requesting the entertainment license, as we heard during our last meeting. So I suppose I'd like to be directed to how do we know the applicant is withdrawing the application?
Sure. The applicant went to the common council and the common council sent it back to us. And then the applicant showed up to our office and then spoke to me and said they withdraw the application because they are going to only offer karaoke going forward, and karaoke does not require an entertainment license.
Okay, and that applicant is, to your knowledge, is that applicant going to be here today or?
No.
Okay. Okay, in that case, I'm okay with the consent agenda as it is.
All right. Committee, any other items that people would like removed or about which they have questions? Mr. Verbeck, sorry. Wow, brain is going tonight. Let's see, Alder Verveer, and then, my gosh, what's my brain doing tonight? Alder Verveer.
Thank you, Chair. Attorney Zillaby's been seeking recognition for the last several minutes. Perhaps I should yield to Attorney Zillaby before I.
Very well,
ask a question.
Assistant City Attorney Zillaby.
Okay, I originally raised my hand to let you know that Amber McReynolds is sitting in for Steve Briss tonight. And Steve is retiring in August, so Amber will be taking over his position. And she will be your new Steve Brist, and she is fabulous. We'll be very happy with her representation.
Excellent, thank you.
And
Welcome,
as
Amber.
for the consent agenda, could we please remove items 10 and 11? Only because it looks to me like it's a clerical error. That the member of the LLC who's appointing the liquor beer agent, the two entities don't match on both 10 and 11. I see what they were trying to do, but the entities do not match.
All right, removing items 10 and 11. Any others? Alder Verveer.
Thank you, Chair. Oh, I wonder if I could simply ask the Deputy City Clerk if he could please elaborate further on the 3 new licenses that are proposed on the consent agenda, rather than me just simply asking for separation on all of them. Those are agenda items 47, 56, and 60. Jim, are those all late renewals? Is that why you're recommending to grant with conditions?
That's correct. They're all licenses that failed to renew within the timeline, and so they've applied for their license again for a new license. And so I just put the conditions that are currently on their license on the consent agenda.
Thank you. That was my assumption. Just wanted to confirm that. I have no objection then to continuing those on the proposed consent agenda, Chair. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Alder Verveer. Any other items that people have questions about or would like separated? All right. A motion would now be in order.
Move approval.
A motion to approve the consent agenda as amended from Ms. Westra. Is there a second? Second from Mr. Bruchak. Any discussion? Hearing none. Any dissent? Hearing none. Motion carries. The consent agenda is approved as amended. So for everyone either here or watching online, Mr. Verbeek is going to read off all of the items that we have disposed of. If all of the business that you are here for is read off at that time, you are welcome to head on home. Jim?
The past consent agenda for ALRC meeting June 21st, 2023. Recommended council to grant item number 2, operator license application for Eric Aguilar. Recommended to grant by the ALRC Operator Subcommittee on May 24th, 2023. Item number 3, temporary Class B retailer license concurrent with street use permit, Wilmar Neighborhood Center, Inc., event location 2000 block of Atwood Avenue, event dates July 29th, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. and July 30th from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. The event is Atwood Fest. Item number 4, temporary Class B retailer license concurrent with street use permit, Wilmar Neighborhood Center, Inc., event location 800 to 1000 block of Williamson Street and McPike Park. Event dates September 16th and 17th. The event is Willie Street Fair. Item number 6, change of agent, Brinker Restaurant Corporation at 4344 East Town Boulevard. Item number 7, change of agent, Brinker Restaurant Corporation. That is for 7301 Mineral Point Road. Item number 8, change of agent, Famous Dave's Ribs, Inc. Item number 9, change of agent, PX2 LLC. Item number 12, change of agent, Lucille Madison LLC. Item number 13, change of agent, Madison Elks at Madison Elks 410. Item number 14, change of agent, Blazing Wings Inc. Item number 15, change of agent, Cento Restaurant LLC. Item 16, change of agent, Scogan's Food Liner LLC Inc. Item number 17, change of agent, Target Corporation 4301 Lean Road. Item number 18, change of agent, Target Corporation at 201 Junction Road. Item number 19, change of agent, Target Corporation at 750 Hilldale Way. Item number 20, entity reorganization, North Central Management, Inc., Home 2 Suites, Madison Central. Item number 21, entity reorganizations, North Central Management, Inc., Doubletree Hotel, Madison East. Item number 22, entity reorganization, North Central Management, Inc., True by Hilton. Item number 23, entity reorganization, North Central Management, Inc., AC Hotel Madison. Item number 24, entity reorganization, Email Corporation. Item number 25, entity reorganization, The Cardinal Bar LLC. Item 26, entity reorganization, Arbor Gate Hospitality LLC. Item number 27, entity reorganization, Texas Roadhouse Holdings LLC. Item number 28, entity reorganization, Target Corporation, 750 Hilldale Way. Item number 29, entity reorganization, Target Corporation at 4301 Lean Road. Item number 30, entity reorganization, Target Corporation at 201 Junction Road. Item number 32, entity reorganization, Garver Events LLC. Item number 33, entity reorganization, Blazing Wings, Inc. at 240 East Town Mall. Item number 34, entity reorganization, Blazing Wings, Inc. at 789 University Avenue. Item number 35, entity reorganization, Lucille Madison LLC. Number 36, entity reorganization, Merchant Madison LLC. Item number 37, entity reorganization, Mega Marts LLC. Item number 38, entity reorganization, Regent Market Cooperative. Item number 40, change of premises, Attic Angel Place. Item number 42, change of premises, Little Palace LLC. Recommended council to grant with conditions. Item number 56, public hearing new license, Regent Liquor LTD, Class A beer, Class A liquor. The conditions are, number 1, premises include 6-foot by 8-foot access point between cooler and building. Condition number 2, the establishment shall not sell, dispense, or give away fermented malt beverages in the original container in amounts less than the amount contained in a 6-pack of 12-ounce bottles or cans. This is only applicable to fermented malt beverages, which fall into the following categories of brands: domestic premium, domestic sub-premium, which includes value and economy brands, malt liquor, and similarly situated import brands. Condition number 3, flavored malt beverages containing up to 6% alcohol by volume may not be sold, dispensed, or given away in the original containers in amount less than a 4-pack of 12-ounce bottles or cans. Flavored malt beverages containing over 6% alcohol by volume may not be sold, dispensed, or given away in the original containers in amounts less than a 6-pack of 12-ounce bottles or cans. Condition 4, the establishment shall not sell, dispense, or give away intoxicating liquor in the original container in amounts of 200 milliliters or less in volume. Intoxicating liquor shall not include wine in the original container with an alcohol content of 15% or less by volume. Condition 5, the establishment shall not sell, dispense, or give away flavored fortified wines in the original container with an alcohol content of more than 12.5% alcohol by volume, where spirits have been added to the wine that have not been produced from the same fruit as the wine for consumption off the premises. The prohibition shall not apply to any other wine product as defined by Wisconsin State Statutes 125.02, para 22. Items 27, 18 plus Center for Visual Performing Arts License, Musonics LLC. And then item 60, Public Health New License for Musonics LLC. Share the same conditions. They are the conditions. Number 1, the establishment must close by midnight, Sunday through Wednesday evenings, except up to 5 times per month. The establishment must close by 1 a.m. Thursday evenings and close by 2 a.m. Friday and Saturday evenings. Condition number 2, the establishment must keep the rear door closed except for deliveries, loading and unloading, and emergencies. Condition 3, the decibel volume will not exceed 60 decibels measured by the property line. Number 4, there will be a maximum indoor capacity of 99 persons and outdoor capacity of 8 persons. And number 5, the must close patio 1 hour before the establishment closes. Recommend the council to place on file item number 5, change of agent, Central Florida Restaurant Inc. The applicant has withdrawn the application and has already submitted a new application for a different agent at a following meeting. Item number 36, 21 plus entertainment license, La Playera Colombiana LLC. The applicant has withdrawn the application and will only be offering karaoke. And refer to next meeting of the ALRC, item 31, entity reorganization, Madison Labor Temple.
All right, thank you, Mr. Verbeek. So again, if your item was just read off, you have nothing further that you need to do with us tonight. So let's move on to the non-consent agenda items. First up, item 10, change of agent for Amara. So Assistant City Attorney Zilvey asked for this and the following item to be removed from the consent agenda. And looking at the agenda, I see why the same person is listed as the agent for items 10, 11, and 12. Is that actually correct?
Well, and that's fine if she's the same agent for all 3 establishments, but on 10 and 11, it says I, Josh Berkson, member for Amara, appoint Caitlin as the liquor beer agent for the premises located at 670. But then down below, it says appointed for Merchant Madison. And then on the other one, it says for Merchant, but agent for Lucille.
We do
And
have,
then,
the agent is registered and is in Zoom.
Oh, wonderful. Let us give them an opportunity to explain.
Caitlin, are you there?
Yes. Hi there.
Hey
Just
there.
so that it is correct.
So Caitlin, can you explain what's going on with these 3 establishments?
It is correct that I will be the beer liquor agent for all 3 of them. It seems that there is, that it was just kind of fudged on the paperwork, which restaurant.
So Caitlin Nicholson is indeed transitioning to be the liquor beer agent for Amara Madison, for Merchant Madison, and for Lucille Madison.
Who is that speaking?
I am Tara Goldberg. I'm the COO of the company. I'm just attending Caitlin here. She's right next to me right here.
Hi.
Just making sure we've got everybody's names on the record. Okay. So Tara and Caitlin, do you believe you would have any difficulty getting amended forms into the clerk's office before the next city council meeting on July 11th? Thank you.
No, we will have no problem getting the corrected ones. It appears that Josh Berkson just accidentally wrote the wrong restaurant on the forms.
We would much rather have forms with clerical errors than not receive forms.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate that.
So committee, what is your pleasure?
Move approval.
And is that for items 10 and 11, Ms. Westra?
Yes, it is.
Here, a motion to approve items 10 and 11. And is there a second? Second from Mr. Burshak. Any discussion? Hearing none. Any dissent? Hearing none. Motion carries. Items 10 and 11 are approved, but do get the corrected versions in, please. Next up, item 39. Item 39 is a change of licensed premises for the Atwood to extend their outdoor capacity. Do we have a registrant here for this item, Mr. Verbeck?
We do, hold on, let me bring it up. We have one registrant, Nicholas Davies, is in support but not wishing to speak.
All right. Assistant City Attorney Zellavi.
I don't see anybody from the Atwood here, and that doesn't surprise me. We had a meeting, I think it was earlier this week, or maybe it was last week, but in order to do what they are looking to do, they need to get approval through zoning first. And given that they were doing what they're proposing to do a few years ago without zoning approval, and then were informed they needed zoning approval and they didn't submit the paperwork, I said that I would ask that this item be referred until they actually get zoning approval to do what they are proposing to do.
All right, thank you, Assistant City Attorney Zellavi. Ms. Westra.
So this is a referral to the next meeting of the LRC. Is that far enough?
Jennifer?
It could be, depending on if they submitted what they were supposed to submit, and if they submit that timely, it could potentially be enough time.
Okay. So I move referral to the next meeting of the LRC.
Your motion to refer to the next meeting of the LRC. Is that a second or a question?
I'll second the motion, but I'd like to make a comment too.
All right, second from Mr. Burshak, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm wondering what's the chances, I mean, is right now the right time to consider whether we would approve this anyway? We know that there's opposition to this change. We've had people come to the committee in the last 2 meetings and submit written testimony asking us not to approve this. So is it worth it to send the applicant to zoning, with an idea that we might end up approving it if it's approved by zoning, when in fact that's not at all a done deal on our side either?
That is an excellent question. And it's something that we've definitely, we've dealt with cases before. I believe it was the owner of the Argus who came in with an application for a change of licensed premises, basically to explore whether it was a realistic thing to do, and concluded that it would be too challenging from an alcohol licensing standpoint to go through the rest of the process. And I could certainly see someone going down that route. I also see if there are people interested in speaking, by all means, we will give them an opportunity. And I know that for neighborhood folks, it can be challenging to maintain the level of engagement to come back meeting after meeting. On the other hand, if there isn't anyone here from the Atwood to speak in favor of it, it would be, we absolutely are within our rights to see it and act on it tonight. It would be less common than other things we've done in the past, but it would not be inappropriate. Have I answered your question?
Yeah, that answers the question. And then, yeah, I'll support the motion to refer to next meeting.
Excellent. Thank you for the question, though. Committee, any further discussion of Ms. Westra's motion to refer to the next regularly scheduled ALRC meeting? Seeing none, is there any dissent? Seeing none, motion carries. Item 39 is referred. Next up, item 41. Item 41 is a change of licensed premises for Dive In to expand outside for Pride Fest. Do we have a registrant here from Dive In?
Yes, Ryan Ramig is here and in Zoom.
Excellent. Ryan, welcome, and please tell us what you're planning.
Ryan, you there?
Ryan, you're unmuted on our end, so you want to check that your microphone is connected. Yep, I saw you mute and unmute yourself, but we still can't hear you. If you're on a laptop or desktop, if you click on mute, there's a little up arrow next to the mute button. Make sure the correct microphone is selected in that pull down. Sorry, Chair, that's about as much as I can help with people's personal devices.
Okay. Ryan, so we can see that you're connected, but we're not able to hear you. If you are able to get that working, we can absolutely, either on that device or another one, we can absolutely come back to you But for the moment, committee, I would entertain a a motion to table this item.
So moved.
A motion from Mr. Bruchak. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Ms. Westra. Any discussion? Hearing none. Any dissent? Hearing none, motion carries. Item 41 is tabled. Next up, items 43, 44, and 45, which are change of licensed premises applications for Up North, Come Back In, and Essen House. Up North is adding 3 amplified music events per year. Comeback is adding 3 events, and the Essen House is adding 4. Assistant City Attorney Zillavi.
This is a bit of a mess, this entire situation. And they submitted these change of premises forms back in the fall. And since then, planning has considered and approved an alteration to their plan development specific implementation plan. And well, first of all, it's not clear to me whether Mr. Worm is seeking to have the change in premises match what was done through this alteration, or if he's looking for something else right now. I don't know if he's still on the line.
He was here in person, but I don't see him here anymore.
No, because I thought he said at the outset he was no longer seeking that change of premise.
That's
Did
what I
anybody
heard.
else?
That's what I heard too.
So,
Christina Pirius is also associated with those businesses, right?
Yes.
Let's give her the opportunity to answer.
Yes, we are deciding not to change the premises because it is too late in the year. The change of premises only had us with 4 events, and we would like to continue with the 6 events, and that's why we are opting out of it.
well, they did allow for the Oktoberfest event.
According to the proposal, it says till September 15th. The Oktoberfest is September 16th.
I know, but then I don't know if you got the amended one, but it says that the restriction does not apply to the seasonal outdoor events and condition number 2, which may occur before May 15th or after September 15th.
Okay, I know that must have been sent within the last week or so.
And I thought I saw an email to you all confirming that they agreed to allow for the Oktoberfest event for this year.
We are also we've also been promoting within the last 30 days for a date in July that we also want to have an event. And this is according to the prior conditions in 2022. So we also want to have that event. So that's why we are opting out.
No, okay. But you understand no live music outside at all then?
Unless it is part of the 6 events, correct? Because if we opt out of the proposal, then we still are allowed 6 events.
Well, I'm not sure that you are allowed music at those events. Let me see if I can find the email here. This says no outside music events until the zoning is finalized via final sign off.
And has zoning, because zoning said the final sign off was with ALRC approving, so that, does
No,
that mean?
no, they did not.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand, like you said, this is a mess and very confusing.
Nope, the final sign off all goes through zoning. There's a document. The sign off of the PD zoning alteration has to be submitted to zoning, and that has not been done.
Okay. We opt out.
So Christina, are you saying we should dispose of these 3 items on our agenda?
Correct.
All right, thank you very much. Committee, I would entertain Ms. Westra.
I move to place these 3 agenda items on file without prejudice.
All right, I've got a motion to place items 43, 44, and 45 on file without prejudice.
Can we check if the others who wanted to speak on this still want to speak?
By all means. We can do that after we've got a seconded motion. Either way is fine. I hear a second. All right, we've got a motion and a second. Do we have other registrants for these items?
We have Nicholas Davies in support, not wishing to speak, but we have Bob Judy as opposed and is wishing to speak.
All right, let's hear from Bob.
Hi, Bob. I live in the neighborhood behind Essen House over there, and I agree with the city attorney that this is a really big mess. The neighbors met with Mr. Worm back in May, and we had the meeting and the planning commission, and it's my understanding that they could have live music 2 nights a week, but it sounds like that's all up in the air yet. Things haven't been finalized. I want to say that we support Mr. Worm and the small businesses. We support the music scene. But the neighbors want to see any liquor license be aligned with the planning commission. It's all got to be very clear because we've heard different things, different times from different people, and it is absolutely confusing. And I feel like the neighbors and Mr. Worm are all running around trying to solve this, but we're not making progress. So please have the liquor license aligned with the planning commission notes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Verbeek, are there any other registrants for this item?
There are not.
All right. We have a motion to place on file without prejudice. Is there any discussion of the motion? Hearing none. Is there any dissent? Hearing none, motion carries. Items 44, 45, and 46 are placed on file without prejudice. Next up, we've got items 46 and 58, a 21-plus entertainment license for Touch of Ukraine at 2418 Winnebago, and a alcohol license for the same establishment. Mr. Verbeek, do we have a registrant from this establishment?
Yes, Katerina Temchenko is registered for both items.
Beautiful. Katerina, are you here in person?
I'm not Katerina, but I'd like to go first.
All right. Sounds good.
Your name?
Gary Gorman, registered.
All right, can you please introduce yourself and tell us about the proposal?
Gary Gorman, I'm here in favor of items 46 and 58 for Touch of Ukraine. I want to give a little bit of background. 12 years ago, I was contacted by a representative of UW Health, and I was asked to develop a medical clinic on the Union Corners site for them. After about 2 years of negotiation with the neighbors and with the city, we commenced that clinic. So that was the first phase. The second phase was a 90-unit affordable housing property called Carbon with retail on the first floor, which now has a furniture store, it has a law firm, it's done very well. The third phase was a multi-generational affordable property called Generations at Union Corners. That's been very successful at 64 units. The last phase, which was just finished, is called Nexus. That's 106 units, market rate, along with roughly 15,000 square feet of retail. As part of the Carbon project, we developed, along with a firm called Union Corners Brewery, a brewery. And it was open, it was thriving, they were doing a great business. They acted essentially as a neighborhood center for that neighborhood. Unfortunately, they could not survive COVID. Financially, they couldn't keep employees, and so they went dark. While it was going on, February of last year, the war started in Ukraine. We have a senior property manager who's married to a Ukrainian, the lovely lady sitting over in the green. The first folks that we made an effort to bring in were her parents. Her mother's sitting right next to her. So they were able to come into this country. We then decided to bring in 18 other Ukrainian folks that this couple knew. And so I sponsored 18 Ukrainians. 6 of them couldn't wait for the 5 months it took our State Department to give them a visa. 12 successfully came to this country. 3 of them decided that they were going to start a restaurant in the space that was the Union Corners Brewery. Those 3 ladies own that restaurant. They are here tonight. Katya will speak for them. But I wanted to tell you that we've worked very closely with the Neighborhood Association. We presented to the Sassy neighborhood 2 weeks ago tomorrow. And after hearing our story, hear Katya's story and her partner's story, they voted unanimously to support the items 46 and 58 that we're here to discuss tonight. So I would urge you to support it. We would like that space to become lively again. We'd like it to become the Cheers bar, the neighborhood center that it once was. Thank you. Happy to answer any questions.
Excellent. Thank you. As someone who's been watching Union Corners for 20 years, I commend you on your stamina.
Thank you.
Committee, do you have any questions for the speaker? You may have a seat.
Thank you.
All right. Can you please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your proposed business?
My name is Katerina or Katya. My partners' name are Inessa and Tatiana. We're all present here. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. Like you already heard, we all are Ukrainians, and unfortunately now there's a war pending in our country, and our city suffered massively. That's why we had to make a difficult decision to leave our homes. With very kind help and support of Gary Gorman, we've been able to come to Madison and started to look for the opportunities how to make ourselves useful for the community. The idea and opportunity to open a bar appeared. Our main idea is to create a place where we are going to be able to share our culture and our cuisine and our traditions of hospitality with Americans. We are going to support local products and local suppliers. Like Gary said before, we already went through neighborhood council meeting and have their full support. And we're also hoping for your support. But of course, to be able to operate in full, we require entertainment and alcohol license. Do you have any question for me?
Committee, what questions do you have for the applicant? Looks like there aren't any at this time. You may have a seat.
Okay, thank you for the intention.
Of course. Mr. Verbeek, are there any other registrants for this item?
I just see Nicholas Davies is in support but not wishing to speak for both items.
Excellent. Committee, Assistant City Attorney Zellaby.
Thank you. I just had some questions based on responses on the entertainment license. It says there will not be security personnel present and that they'll call police if any issues arise in the parking lots. And then everything else is call police, call police. And I'm just wondering if they've thought at all about a plan in the event that they, something happens at the bar, at the restaurant bar or associated with it.
We are definitely going to have employers that are going to be able to help in such situations. And if we shall proceed with live music, then we know the rules, and of course there would be a security. For now, we don't have live music.
Well,
Okay.
the 21 plus entertainment license would allow you to have live music.
For now, we are not having this, but we are planning to have a couple of maybe gaming machines and jukebox. And of course, we will stream football matches and soccer games.
Excellent.
As we are Europeans.
Assistant City Attorney Zellaby, do you have additional questions?
So you're not planning on having live music ever, or?
No, not ever, just for now, but maybe later. But if we will have it, we know the rules, we will hire the security.
Okay. And the only reason I ask is because sometimes people go into business not anticipating situations that can arise, particularly if they have entertainment.
We are working with experienced people, and of course we rely on their help and try to follow all the rules.
Okay.
Any further
Okay.
questions? Okay. Committee, what additional questions do you have for the applicant? Alder Verveer.
Thank you, Chair. I was simply curious when the establishment plans to open, assuming that you secure all the necessary licenses and permits.
We are planning to open on July 6th.
July 6th.
Yes, our working hours will be Tuesday through Thursday, 11 to 10, and Fridays and Saturdays, 11 to 12. Sundays and Mondays are days off.
Very good. And have you already learned then from the city clerk's office staff that you should apply for a provisional license if you wish to serve alcohol on July 6th? Because your annual license wouldn't be before the Madison Common Council until July 11th.
Yes, we did.
Very good. Sounds like you have everything well under control thanks to Gary Gorman and Travis Spencer. Not to mention yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you. And good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Committee, any further questions for the applicant? What is your pleasure? Ms. Westra.
Move approval of 46 and 58.
Your motion to approve items 46 and 58. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second from Dr. Reese. Any discussion? Hearing none. Any dissent? Hearing none, motion carries. Items 46 and 58 are granted. Congratulations. All right, next up is item 48. Item 48 is a 21 plus entertainment license for Cargo Coffee at 750 East Wash. Oh gosh, I got it. I'm sorry, 21 plus visual and performing. Whoa. Gosh, I'm totally healthy now. An 18 plus visual and performing arts license for Cargo Coffee at 750 East Wash. That is my mistake before, not anyone else's. Do we have a registrant here for this item?
Yes, Lindsay Lee is registered and in Zoom.
All right, Lindsay, can you please introduce yourself and tell us about your proposal?
I'm Lindsay Lee. I own Cargo Coffee, which has been in business for 25 years. Cargo East, which is on East Washington, 750 East Washington, has been open for 10 years with a beer and wine license. We sell very little beer and wine. We only offer beer and wine because when we're open in the evenings, we're only open in the evenings for music. You know, what I learned from owning my first coffee shop, Ground Zero, which did not offer beer and wine, it was just very difficult to bring together a audience for local musicians without that alternative. You know, it's the difference between having, you know, maybe 6 or 8 people there compared to, you know, having, you know, 16, 22 people. It adds a little to sales, but more importantly, it, you know, brings in, you know, more people to see local musicians, mostly singer-songwriter type music. So, and, you know, in the end, you know, we're just open on Friday and Saturday nights for music. They lose money. We make money in the morning. But, you know, I've heard over the years that Madison wants more spaces for local music development. So we've been doing that. So we only have beer and wine, maybe 4 or 5% sales. I haven't checked lately. Music is done at 8:30 p.m. We close on Friday and Saturday nights at 9 p.m. We offer the full menu until close, until 9. Our shows are seated, you know, sort of, coffee shop style. People sit at their tables and, you know, politely clap for, you know, once again, mostly acoustic music, usually solo, sometimes duos, sometimes, you know, trios. You know, I know it's a little challenging. You know, we're a coffee shop. You know, I have people who hang out here all day, all evening on their computers. We don't charge a cover. People come and go. Young people come and go. They come in and get a mocha. They might sit down and, you know, enjoy the music. A lot of the performers are young people who are, you know, trying out being performers. So, you know, I've been honored to be able to, you know, host this experience for people. We don't have to do it. We can continue to do it. We can not continue to do it. So I feel like the ordinance is written for bars, and we don't fit that. So maybe there's no room for us. I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Committee, what questions do you have for the applicant? Mr. Verbeek, Dr. Reese.
Hi,
Thanks, Lindsay, for speaking tonight. I think what you're proposing is sort of a gap in our current offerings. And I'm just curious how you see the music moving forward, if you'd see things going pretty much as they've been going the past couple of months. Do you have any plans to expand, or is this mostly kind of getting your ducks in a row, your appearance here tonight?
The music's going to stay the same. We've made one addition. You know, I don't run the music. I have a great employee named Dana Perry. She's in her 30s. I pay her to do the music. She's well loved within the Madison music scene. Her and her husband run the music. She takes part in that committee that I believe was set up by the city to talk about how to develop local music, but also part of that is the need for alternative space for hip hop. So starting this past winter, you know, about every 6 weeks, we've had sit down, very community-based shows that are hip hop nature. And they've been fabulous. You know, the last one, which was earlier, you know, there was a 1-year-old and there were multiple people, probably, you know, definitely in their 80s, maybe even one, I think maybe was in their 90s. It was the whole range of, and you know, I think we maybe had 24 people. So, you know, I'm committed, you know, if Dana wants to continue, and she does, to try to support all music communities. So otherwise, really 95% of the time, it's, you know, someone sitting there with an acoustic guitar trying to be the next Bob Dylan or Joan Baez.
Yeah, thank you. And just for full disclosure for the committee, this doesn't relate directly to cargo, so I don't view it as a conflict, but the committee that Mr. Lee's referring to is Greater Madison Music City, which is a community-driven project to work with the music scene and promote equity. So just for clarification, my nonprofit is leading that effort. Thanks. That's all the questions I had.
I'm sorry, I don't know more about it.
Oh, no worries.
Dana is fabulous.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Reese, and thank you again, Lindsay. Committee, what additional questions do you have for the applicant? All right. Mr. Verbeek, are there any other registrants for this item?
Nicholas Davies is in support, not wishing to speak.
All right. Ms. Westra. If I read your lips right, that was I move approval.
Move approval, and I'll go off mute.
Excellent. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that. And can someone help me lower my hand?
Your hand is lowered. Okay, so we've got a motion
Thank you.
from Ms. Westra, a second from Dr. Reese to grant. Let's see. Assistant City Attorney McReynolds.
Yes.
Hi. First of all, welcome to ALRC.
Thank you.
So just to make sure we don't have anything that bites us or the applicant later, is there any problem with us granting a visual and performing arts license to a coffee shop?
I don't know the answer to that question. Jen, do you have any experience with this?
Attorney Zillaby actually drafted the ordinance for me many, many years ago.
Right. No, I don't see where there would be an issue with this.
Wonderful. Okay. That's the answer I expected and was hoping for, but better to ask it than risk being surprised later. So we have a motion and a second to grant item 48. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Is there any dissent? Hearing none, motion carries. Item 48 is granted. And congratulations, Lindsay, and thank you for your contributions to my neighborhood. All right, next up, item 49. 49 is a new license application for East Wash Mobile on, as you might guess, East Wash. Do we have a registrant here for this item?
I do not see anyone register for this item.
All right. I am going to jump ahead to another item that might shed light on this one. It is item 53, which is a new license application for Gruel Petrol at the same address, 3859 East Wash. Do we have a registrant here for that item?
I'm sure what you said.
It is item 53, new license application for Gruel Petrol.
We have a Gurpreet Singh registered for this item. Yep, you can come up.
Excellent. Hi there. Can you please introduce us and introduce yourself and tell us about your proposed business?
Yeah, so we purchased 3859 East Washington. I didn't know there was a previous license applied, but sale didn't go through with the previous owner, whoever was leasing it. So, it's going to be a convenience store selling beer and wine.
Excellent. Thank you. Committee, what questions do you have for the applicant for number 53? Mr. Bruchak.
Excuse me, I think, did I miss something? Weren't we on item 49?
Yeah, I figured that we could probably learn a lot more about item 49 by taking this item because they're both for the same address.
Okay.
And we can't issue two licenses for the same address. I guess I'll ask you, do you have a lease allowing you to control that property?
We bought the property.
Even better. Okay. So that means unless you have leased the property to someone else, you are the only one who could have a license there. Mr. Bruchak, does that answer your question?
Okay, yeah, I think so. I don't have any questions for the applicant. Well, except that I assume we'll have to, if we grant this, we'll have to put a condition on it restricting liquor sales to only wine. That's what we always do.
It's just the beer and wine.
Yeah.
We can't sell liquor because of the gas.
You understand that, okay, that's all. No further questions.
Wonderful, thank you. Committee, any further questions for the applicant? Just got to look something up for a second here. All right, committee, what is your pleasure? Alder Verveer.
Thank you, Chair. I was going to ask the Deputy City Clerk if there are any previous conditions on the license at this establishment, or is that what you were just researching when you said, let me look something up, Chair?
Go for it, Jim. Okay, yes, it does have the common conditions of not selling, dispensing, or giving away in sizes and all of the like. Would you like me to read them out, Alder Verveer?
Yes, that would be great, Chair. I'm sorry I don't have that in front of me. If you could recite those for the applicant to ensure that the applicant has no objections and understands those conditions.
So the previous license at that address had conditions that the establishment shall not sell, dispense, or give away fermented malt beverages in the original container in amounts less than the amount contained in a 6-pack of 12-ounce bottles or cans. This is only applicable to fermented malt beverages, which fall into the following categories of brands: domestic premium, domestic sub-premium, which includes value and economy brands, malt liquor, and similarly situated imported brands. Condition 2, flavored malt beverages containing up to 6% alcohol by volume may not be sold, dispensed, or given away in the original container in amounts less than a 4-pack of 12-ounce bottles or cans. Flavored malt beverages containing over 6% alcohol by volume may not be sold, dispensed, or given away in the original container in amounts less than a 6-pack of 12-ounce bottles or cans. If this sounds at all arcane to you, I assure you your liquor distributor knows exactly what all of these words mean.
So whatever the policies are.
Yeah, what it boils down to is not selling, I mean, this isn't the formal thing, but informally, not selling cheap single-serving alcohol.
Oh, single.
It's also the type of thing you don't want happening in your parking lot.
Yeah, absolutely, yes, absolutely. City guidelines are top priority.
So, committee, what is your pleasure?
I just want to point out that the previous license did not have a prohibition on hard liquor sales because it only had a Class A beer, but this one is for Class A beer and Class A liquor.
Alder Revere, you interested in making a motion?
The vice chair's been doing such an excellent job all night.
No, you can go for it.
I can. Well, very good. Then I move to grant the Class A beer, Class A liquor license with the conditions as previously imposed on the prior license at this location, with the addition that the Class A liquor license is limited to wine sales only.
Excellent. I hear a motion go ahead.
Before we get a second, if I could just confirm that I'm not misspeaking, the deputy city clerk, is cider included in the Class A beer, or do we need to exempt cider from Class A liquor?
Cider is part of the Class A liquor. I know recently we've been adding cider on the conditions as an allowance in addition to the wine.
So we should say cider and wine.
That would be supportive of that, yeah.
Thank you. That would be the motion then, Chair.
All right. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second from Ms. Westra. Is there any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, is there any dissent? All right, motion carries. Item is granted. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so now jumping back to item 49. Item 49 is a new license application for the same address by someone who did not get the lease to it and is not here. Committee, what is your pleasure?
Move to place on file.
Your motion to place on file, is there a second?
Second.
Is there a second for Mr. Bruchak? Is there any discussion? Hearing none, is there any dissent? Hearing none, motion carries. Item 49 is placed on file. Item 50, new license for the 360 at 1 Dempsey. Do we have a registrant here from this item, Mr. Verbeek?
We do not.
Committee, what is your pleasure?
Move to refer to the next meeting of the LRC.
Your motion to refer, is there a second? Second from Dr. Reese. Any discussion? Hearing none. Any dissent? Hearing none. Motion carries. All right, next up, item 51, new license for 7-Eleven at 2216 Old University. Do we have a registrant here for this item?
We do. Brandon Call is registered for this item and in Zoom.
Beautiful. Brandon, can you please introduce yourself and tell us about your proposed business?
Hi, I'm Brandon, the general manager for the store. It's just taking a long-standing location and we're switching from a franchise store to a corporate store.
All right, committee, what questions do you have for the applicant? Mr. Verbeek, are there any other registrants for this item?
There are not.
All right, are there any conditions on the previous license at that location? That was an older license that had the less refined version of the conditions that were on the previous license. So the license at that address just said, there shall be no sale of single bottles or cans of beer or fermented malt beverages. We, at the request of several license holders, expanded it to the wording that you heard on the previous license, as that is more permissive in what it allows the license holder to do, while still accomplishing the goal of these conditions. Committee, what is your pleasure? Mr. Burshak.
Move to grant with the standard conditions.
All right.
From the last item.
So I hear a motion to grant item 51 with the same conditions that we applied to, was it number 49? Oh, sorry, 53, less the one about wine and cider, since that is not necessary. Do I hear a second to Mr. Burshak's motion to grant with conditions?
Second.
Second from Ms. Westra. And let me see for a second. Brandon, do you have any questions about that?
Nope.
Excellent. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Any dissent? Hearing none, motion carries. Item 51 is granted. Congratulations, Brandon. Next up, item 52. 52 is a new license for K Pepper at 601 Junction. Do we have a registrant here for this item?
Yeah, Sungwoo Kim is registered, and I do not see them in Zoom unless I do see a phone number in Zoom. That might be Miss Farley.
I can call on them if you'd like.
Yeah, I think that might be Miss Farley.
*6 to unmute.
This is Catherine
All right.
Farley.
So we don't have anyone here for item 52. Committee, what is your pleasure?
Move referral to the next meeting of the LRC.
Here, a motion from Ms. Westra, second from Dr. Reese to refer item 52 to the next regularly scheduled ALRC meeting. Alder Verveer.
Thank you. I noticed that this is the second time that this has been on our agenda for this particular application. So I was curious if the deputy city clerk has heard from the applicant one way or the other beyond the, did he definitely register today and is just not on Zoom? Or she, excuse me?
Correct. I believe they did register. Yeah, they registered in support not wishing to speak. And I know they had sent me an email earlier week with concerns on keeping their business open and still being able to participate in the meeting. I made sure they are aware that it's a hybrid meeting and they could be in person or through Zoom, and they said okay, and then they registered. So
Could we perhaps attempt to get a hold of them, Jim?
I can try,
To
yeah.
this matter instead, since they went to the trouble of, it sounds like, registering today.
Sure.
Could I suggest that to my colleagues, that we have an alternate motion to place this upon the table?
You may make that motion.
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Your motion from Alder Verveer, second from Ms. Westra to table item 54. Any discussion? Hearing none. Any dissent? Hearing none. Motion carries. Item 54 is tabled.
52.
Oh my gosh. I am really sorry, folks. I am not on my game tonight. Yes, that was item 52, K. Pepper. We are now moving on to item 54, which is a new license application for Maharaja at 1701 Theater. Do we have a registrant here for this item? Mr. Rubik, would you like a minute so you don't need to multitask?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I got a pop of an Outlook and it's blocked me from going down. There we go. Okay. 50,
ready.
was it 54?
Yeah.
I do not see a registrant for 54.
All right. Committee, what is your pleasure for this item? Ms. Westra?
Move referral
Your motion
to the next meeting of the LRC.
Your motion to refer item 54. Do I hear a second? Second from Dr. Reese. Any discussion? Hearing none. Any dissent? Hearing none. Motion carries. Item 54 is referred. Next is item 55. Item 55 is a new license for Refuel Pantry at 6410 Mill Pond. Do we have a registrant here for this item?
Yes, Lockbeer Singh is registered and in Zoom.
Wonderful. Lockbeer, can you please introduce yourself and tell us about your proposed business?
Yes, hi, I'm Lockbeer Singh, and I'm actually purchasing an existing convenience store with gas station, and I would like to keep the things the same way they were for the previous ownership. So it's more like a change of ownership.
All right. Committee, what questions do you have for the applicant? In anticipation of the question, the current license, oh, wait a minute, is this, give me just a second here. Yeah, the current license has a condition that the Class A liquor license is restricted to use for wine, and I'm sure the intent is cider. Are there any other registrants for this item?
There are not.
All right. Committee, what is your pleasure?
Move approval with the conditions outlined.
All right, here motion
gas
from
stations that we talked about
Ms.
earlier.
Motion from Ms. Westra to approve with the condition that alcohol sales are limited to beer, wine, and cider. Do I hear a second?
I second.
Second from Alder Verveer. Mr. Bruchak?
So, yeah, this establishment, this is a gas station, right?
I'll ask the applicant. Is this a gas station? Black beer?
Yes, yes, yeah. So it's a convenience store with gas, correct? Yep.
Excellent, thank you.
So the motion before us is to approve with the standard gas station conditions.
I will let Ms. Westra answer that.
Yes. But with the ability to have cider.
Okay. That's fine with me. I'm in support.
Is it just the one condition or is it the other two conditions we've put on the other licenses tonight?
Those are our, Alder Revere, those are our standard, if you have pumps, gas station conditions.
Right, as a reminder for all, the Madison general ordinances prohibit the sale of spirits if gasoline sales are present. So to be consistent with our ordinance, we routinely add the condition that Class A liquor licenses are limited to cider now, cider and wine sales, again, because the pumps are present. The so-called standard conditions that were worked out with the industry many years ago were meant for the downtown campus area originally because of areas of namely chronic panhandling in and around those establishments. Given this location, I don't think that that's likely an issue. So I personally would just suggest limiting it to the Class A liquor, again.
And Chair,
to cider and wine.
and Chair, those conditions were not on the previous license.
They actually had been on and were subsequently removed.
Okay. So we'll, so the motion is with the standard conditions for the Madison General Ordinance for not allowing the sale of spirits, but allowing the sale of cider.
And wine.
And wine.
All right. Any further discussion of the motion to grant with one condition? Hearing none. Is there any dissent? Hearing none. Motion carries. Item 55 is granted. Congratulations, Blackbeer, and have a good night. Next up is item 57. 57 is a new license for Regent Mini Mart at 1401 Regent. Do we have a registrant here for this item?
We have a Niraj Kashal as registered and wishing to speak. And I think they are in Zoom.
All right. Niraj, can you please introduce yourself and let us know about your proposed business?
Niraj, you might have a prompt on your screen to unmute.
Yes, we do. Thank you.
There we go. Excellent. So please introduce yourself and let us know about your proposed business.
My name is Neeraj Kaushal, and we're looking for a license approval for 1410 Regent Street, which was a 7-Eleven previously.
Excellent. Committee, what questions do you have for the applicant? Mr. Bruchak.
So is this the same? Is it true that there was a liquor store just down the street from there called Regent Street Liquor? Was or still is?
I don't have knowledge of that. I believe it's still there.
I am almost sure you're right.
It was on tonight's agenda, actually, because they were one of the ones who did not renew in time, and so we had to grant their license again today.
And that it's called Regent Liquor, right? It's a couple of doors down from
Regent Street Liquor is the
from
name of it.
Josie's.
Yep.
So this is a different business than the other business,
Right.
With the same name.
It's Regent Mini Mart versus Regent Liquors, you know.
Oh, I
Just-
see.
Just
Okay.
like we've got Greenbush Bar and Greenbush
Yeah.
Donuts
Okay.
on the same street.
No, I was looking at the item above, and that was my question. No further questions. Regent Mini Mart.
So, committee, what additional questions do you have for the applicant? All right, let me just take a look at something here. Alder Verveer.
Thank you. To the applicant, to confirm, you are seeking a full Class A beer, Class A liquor license, so including the sale of spirits at this time?
We would prefer it, but we will be okay with the a class, wine and beer sale.
Okay, great. Because I presume you are aware that the alder of the district, the neighborhood association, and the Madison Police Department are all supportive, but only contingent on you not serving hard liquor.
Yes, I am aware of that. Yes.
And then do you have any objection to the other conditions that were apparently discussed at the Vilas Neighborhood Association?
No,
meeting?
we do not. We are okay with that.
So to confirm, that would be no keg sales.
No
And
keg sale, and then the singles not larger than, I think, 25 ounce. That was the restriction. Yes.
Yes, they selected 25 ounce as the cutoff, if you will.
Yep.
So you have no objection to those?
Nope.
Okay, very good. Thank you. And then Chair, could we have confirmation from the Deputy City Clerk or yourself as to what the previous conditions were for what I still call open pantry?
Of course. That's what I call it as well. And the conditions were no spirits, no single cans, and no kegs. So you've got all the bases covered.
I see. So what VNA did was they just carried over the previous conditions, it sounds like.
Sounds like it.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Committee, or are there any other registrants for this item?
There are not.
Committee, what's your pleasure?
Move approval with the existing conditions from the previous license.
I hear a motion to grant with the conditions, which I will read out so that we can be sure it's what you actually want.
Do you want me to read it?
And the right page. That would be lovely.
Okay. The conditions in the previous license are: number one, sales of alcohol shall be limited to beer, wine, and fermented malt beverages. Number two, there shall be no sale of single beer or no single bottles or cans of beer or of fermented malt. Two, there shall be no sale of single bottles or cans of beer or fermented malt beverages. And number three, there shall be no sale of kegs.
I would like to apologize to Mr. Verbeek and anyone listening if I have infected him with whatever's making me trip over my words. All right, Ms. Westra, is that what, or Alder Verveer?
I didn't mean to interrupt your colloquy with the vice chair. Chair, I just wanted to, I'll second the motion just with the question of the deputy city clerk. Would he prefer that we try to be standard and replace fermented malt beverage with cider in that case?
I think standard is good.
Yeah, standard's good.
Amy, that good with you?
Yep, I'm fine. I was just gonna ask if we had to add something for cider, so.
All right, thank you, Mike. Any discussion of the motion to grant item 59, 57, Regent Mini Mart? Hearing none. Any dissent? Hearing none, motion carries. Item 57 is granted. Next up, item 59, which is a new license for Momo Sports Bar at 6201 Mill Pond, just down the street from the gas station we just had. Do we have a registrant here from this item?
Yeah, we do.
Come on up.
I just want to give you a little bit of
Can
information.
you introduce yourself first?
Oh, my name is Jim Hallback. I own Reverend Jim's Roadhouse, the Whiskey River LLC. I'm only here because I had to get a license. I had to renew my license, so there's not going to be two licenses there. The reason that we did that is because the clerk told us that the only way this would work is if I renewed my license, and when he gets granted, I have to turn my license in, and possibly that he could get his. So that's why I'm here. But Carl's here too, so I'll let you talk to him.
Well, don't go away yet.
Okay.
Do you know what's going on here, Jim?
No, I don't.
Okay, so did you have an establishment currently at this address?
Yes, I do.
And so and do you have a license for that establishment?
Yes, I do. It's underneath Whiskey River LLC. We should be on the docket today to get our license renewed.
Oh, which we probably already did on the consent agenda.
Yeah.
No, I think he's referring to last month. We had the licenses to renew.
Okay. Yeah, could be.
Yep. So,
Yeah, it could
if you renewed your license with us, we would have passed it at last month's agenda, and then this month's council already passed that one. So.
Okay, we didn't realize that.
Yep.
Thank you.
Not a problem.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. Well, and so you're the outgoing business, right?
I'm the out guy.
And you're the new one coming in? Great. So you stay, he can go. And please introduce yourself and tell us about your proposed business.
Sure. My name is Carl Sering, and I'm in the process of buying Reverend Jim Roadhouse. So we are planning to run the bar as is, and we are providing food and liquor, no live entertainment at this now. And then we are possibly adding a Tibetan menus on the bar menus. So that's something that we want to do. That's pretty much it. And
so what is the name of the business?
Momo Sports Bar.
Okay.
Yes.
What was the other name that you were using?
Reverend Jim Roadhouse, that's under his name.
Okay, so
as soon as
you're going to be calling
Yes.
it Momo Sports Bar.
Yes.
But otherwise operating it in a similar fashion.
Yes, exactly.
Great, thank you very much. Committee, what questions do you have for the applicant? Dr. Reese.
Thank you. There's a question on the application that says describe the existing parking and how it will be monitored. And you wrote that it has a parking lot, but could you just talk to us a little bit about how you will monitor the parking lot when people are coming and going?
We have a security system around the buildings.
Do you plan to have anyone in or around the parking lot for busy weekend nights?
The parking lot is only for the patrons.
Right, but what I'm asking is sometimes, and if I recall, this parking lot, there may be some tight spots. So sometimes, the parking lot is a place where if there is going to be trouble at the end of the night, sometimes things can come up. So really what this question is asking is how will you, make sure that things stay peaceful in your parking lot as people are coming and going?
Sure,
So understanding it's for patrons.
Yeah. So we replace all the parking lot lights. So it's now bright and clear. And then we have one video surveillance that covers the whole parking lot.
Okay.
And we have a monitor from the phone.
Okay, and someone's monitoring that
Yes.
periodically during the night. Okay, thanks. And then can you tell us a little bit about, have you run an establishment like this in the past, or
Yes,
just what's your experience?
Me and my partner, so he have a background. He's from Taiwan, and when I first came here, I worked at the restaurant and bar for 3 years.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Committee, what additional questions do you have for the applicant? Alder Verveer.
Thank you. Just to confirm the notation on the original application that you plan to primarily be a nightclub was incorrect. Is that right?
That's correct. The guy who I asked him to fill the application, he got it incorrectly. So he did apply, corrected, and I have a copy emailed to me. So I'm not sure if, I did email Jim, I did email Alderman, so about this new ownership.
Yes, thank you. Jim did pass along the email to us for our packets tonight. And then are you aware of any conditions that currently are on the license?
So I don't think there's any conditions. So whatever the Jim has a license under the Whiskey River Jack, so we'll just carry on as it is. And we have the same staff from him, so pretty much running as it is right now.
So I can address that, Alder Verveer, but there's an additional complication. The current establishment has an entertainment license, but this application is just for an alcohol license with no entertainment. And the box is checked on the application saying no entertainment. So do you intend to have live music?
Down the road, if the customer requested, yes.
Okay. But the business has live music now?
Not now. So it used to be, he used to have it, but not anymore.
I see. Okay. So Alder Verveer, there are conditions which appear largely to relate to entertainment, but I'll read them all out. Number 1, outdoor venue / amplification use will be permitted on Friday and Saturday evenings, as well as Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. If this day falls prior to a Monday holiday, permission for any other day may be granted with prior approval from MPD East District Command staff. Said request shall be made a minimum of 48 hours prior to the event. Item 2, no amplification prior to noon or past midnight allowed during any day or special event. Number 3, amplification shall be no longer than 45 decibels within a 100-foot radius of Reverend Jim's property line. Amplification may include live or pre-recorded music. Item 4, a minimum of 1 visible, identifiable security staff for every 50 customers. Security will be responsible for monitoring inside the tavern, outdoor seating or stage area, and parking lot. Item 5, a licensed security company shall be retained to assist with large-scale outdoor events on a case-by-case basis after consultation with MPD. Number 6, semi-trucks shall not be allowed extended parking in excess of 1 hour in the lot, although this would not prohibit short-term delivery of supplies to include loading and unloading. Number 7, fencing shall be required surrounding the designated outside venue as depicted in the proposal with signage indicating no alcoholic beverages beyond this point. Item 8, capacity kept at 581. That is what's on the current license.
Wow, that was certainly a mouthful.
I'm amazed I was able to get it out.
You did a great job, thank you. So 581 is the current outdoor capacity then? Or
I don't know, Mr. Verbeek?
this application is for a capacity of 180 indoors and 0 outdoors, is that correct?
We have a patio.
But is the patio, and do you intend for the patio to be included in the licensed premises where you can sell alcohol?
Yes, it's all fenced in before, and he has been selling alcohol in the patio, so.
The application does not state that. I know you don't have the application in front of you likely, but question number 8, we want a specific written description of your licensed premise. And it's typed the building indoor and then handwritten, quote, alcohol will be stored in the bar area and cooler area, and alcohol will be served on the entire, I guess that should be in, but it looks like on the entire dining area. Nothing about outdoor alcohol service. But that is not your intent then?
So I think there's some miscommunication between we hired a CPA firm who filled out an application, and then we requested them to fill that, no live entertainment, but just selling food and liquor, patio that was fenced in. So that's what we requested. So, and then probably we have to reapply later.
So, and then also for question number 9, we ask what the proposed capacity is. And for indoor, it says 180, and outdoor it's blank. So can you confirm, knowing that the CPA apparently made some errors in this original application, can you confirm what your indoor capacity would be? And then also what the outdoor capacity would be?
Indoor capacity is about right, 180 at max. And then outdoor probably seating wise, 12.
Just 12 as in 1 dozen?
No, the 4 tables and 4 chairs.
So 16, you think?
16, I'm sorry, yeah, 16.
Is outdoor?
Yeah.
Okay. And as it relates to all of those conditions, you heard our chair read that are currently on the license relating to outdoor amplification and the use of the parking lot and all that. None of that is applicable because you don't plan any entertainment.
Correct. We're not planning to do that as of now. So.
And you won't even be playing music that's not live music, but recorded music on the patio?
Correct, from the jukebox. So.
But it wouldn't relate, one of the conditions related to amplification outside?
Outside, currently, we don't have anything right now, but it's just patio. So right now, so we are putting chairs and table as of now. So we are not serving anything right now, but we would like to serve. So.
All right, so it sounds like none of the current conditions would apply to your business plan.
So here's the thing, the patio wise, I'm not 100% sure because there's not much customer right now. So, but we would like to do that once we have more customers. So.
Right, so I'm sorry if I'm confusing you. It's 2 different issues. So you're asking that we amend your application on the record here tonight to add to your license premise description, outdoor patio. And then further for the next question, that we amend your application here during the meeting for outdoor capacity of 16, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so Jim, you could please do that as you have in the past for us kindly. But then my other question that I might be confusing you on is when our chairperson read all of the various conditions that are currently on the bar, it sounded like those all applied to live music. Is that correct? And so none of those would be applicable? Maybe this is more a question of you, Chair, now that I think about it, but did I miss any conditions that would apply to this business plan?
There are a couple. There's the one about semi trucks not parking for more than an hour, fencing for the outside area. I guess that is it. Yeah.
And I don't remember the neighbor concerns. Obviously, they obviously were aired at one of our meetings years ago, but I don't remember the specifics, I have to admit.
Yeah, this was 15 years ago.
Since Jim has a more, yeah.
Could we ask, could the current license holder perhaps reappear and try to refresh at least my ancient memory about the genesis of all those conditions? Out of curiosity, please.
Yeah, some of that stuff when we first started got confusing. Like I owned a strip club before, and they seen one of my trucks that said "Screaming Mimi's" on it up there. So they thought they were going to turn into a strip club, which we never had any intention to. There was when we moved down there, we put "Now Open" with a semi out there, and the Ho Chunk didn't like it, so that came up. They had us take off that. And all those other things we had, when I first started out, we were trying to be sort of a motorcycle bar because you have Harley Davidson out there, and we had Reverend Jim's Revivals, where we had live bands outside, and we had a tow truck come in where the band sat up, and all that stuff has been gone for almost 10 years now. So all those, I didn't even realize all those conditions were set on us because they're great, they don't even have no intents, or we never used them in 10 years. So that's where all that stuff comes from. If you have any other questions, I can.
No, thank you for all that.
We went to an old man's bar is what we did.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate you trying to jog my memory there. I have no further questions at this time, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Alder Verveer. Committee, what other questions do you have for the applicant? All right, committee, are there any other registrants for this item?
There are not.
Committee, what is your pleasure?
I'll move to grant with, and I got confused if there are any conditions. But if there still are conditions, whatever you said.
Well, I'm going to leave this to your discretion. So there are some conditions, and helpfully the owner of the previous business at this establishment gave us the history of them and said they were related to concerns that people had at the time that it was opening that haven't been relevant to the operational model for a long time.
What about the one about the fencing around the patio area? That, I guess, I don't know if we still need that. Otherwise, we probably don't.
Is there fencing around the patio?
There is, yes.
Are you planning to tear it down?
No,
So if there's a condition saying you have to leave it there, you don't care?
I don't care, yeah.
The fencing did come down, they put a new patio in, they put the fencing back up. So they put the new fencing around it, they just put, this week they put a new patio in.
I'm sorry, Jim, we can't hear you because.
They're just saying, yeah, they had fencing, they took it down to redo the patio, but it's going back up.
Oh,
So-
well, I mean,
So if you
let me
want,
just move to grant with no conditions.
I hear a motion to grant.
Second.
I hear a second from Ms. Westra. Is there any discussion of this motion? Alder Verveer.
Thank you. I just want to confirm that that would include the outdoor seating. So it would be a capacity of 180 indoors and 16 outdoors.
And Dr. Reese is nodding.
Thank you.
Any further discussion of this item? Mr. Verbeek, can you please call the roll?
Alder Verveer?
Aye.
Alder Verveer, aye. Mr. Baruchuk?
Aye.
Mr. Baruchuk, aye. Dr. Reese?
Aye.
Dr. Reese, aye. Ms. Farley?
Aye. Sorry, I was muted.
Ms. Farley, aye. Ms. Westra?
Aye.
Ms. Westra, aye. Alder Knox?
Aye.
Alder Knox, aye. Chair, the vote is 6 ayes, 0 nays.
Excellent. Item 59 is granted. Congratulations. Thank you. Oh, he's already gone. Okay, we've got 2 items which are on the table. I would entertain a motion to pick up item 41 off of the table. That is a change of licensed premises for Dive In at 521 Cottage Grove. Do I hear a motion to take this item up off the table?
So moved.
Motion from Ms. Westra. Is there a second? Second from Dr. Reese. Any discussion? Hearing none. Any dissent? Hearing none. Motion carries. Item 41 is back before us. So do we have anyone registered who might be able to talk right now?
The applicant emailed me back and said he'd try again next month.
Wonderful. I will entertain a motion to refer item 41 to the next regularly scheduled meeting of the ALRC.
Move referral.
Hear a motion from Ms. Westra, a second from Dr. Reese. Assistant City Attorney McReynolds.
Hey there, this is item 41.
This is item, yes, 41.
So I think this is for something that's coming up this weekend. Am I?
Indeed,
just
it is.
double-
The application has the specific dates of this weekend.
Right,
That's
so
June 24th to June 26th.
just wanted
So I
to,
don't know how this would have worked given the next council meetings after that date on July 11th anyway.
Well, Jim, if the applicant did announce the intention to come back next month, it is our practice that if people want to make amendments to their applications, we allow that. So assuming the applicant amended it to a date that was in the future, in sufficient time to give notice before the next meeting, that would be fine, right?
Yeah, he just said, I'll reach out next week to get my ducks in a row and maybe just show up in person next time.
Does that answer your question, Assistant City Attorney McReynolds?
it does. I see Jen also, or Assistant City Attorney Zilliby also has her hand up. I see it's for a Pride Fest event, so the owner might be hoping to hear whether or not this was approved or not before this weekend to be able to tell people whether or not they can come to the event.
I saw that on the application, and then I saw that he wasn't in the queue, so I called him, and he said they didn't realize that they wouldn't be timely to have something this weekend, so they're gonna reconfigure and resubmit something for maybe some other outdoor events at another time.
Excellent. Thank you to both of you for the attention, and Assistant City Attorney Zilliby for reaching out to the applicant. So we have a motion to refer and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Is there any dissent? Hearing none, motion carries. Item 41 is referred. Do I hear a motion to take up item 52 off of the table?
So moved.
Motion from Dr. Reese. Is there a second? Second from Mr. Bruchak. Any discussion of the motion to pick up item 52 off the table? Hearing none. Any dissent? Hearing none, motion carries. Item 52 is back before us again. Mr. Verbeek, any luck getting a hold of anyone for this?
Yes, Sungwook Kim is registered and in Zoom, and you should see a prompt to speak.
Wonderful. Sungwook, can you please introduce yourself and tell us about your proposed business?
Hi, sorry, I just had some trouble earlier. I've been in the meeting forever, but
no problem. We are all used to it.
Yeah, this is my first time doing this, I guess, since first time we opened like 15 years ago. So my name is Eric. I go by Eric. My real name is Sung Kim. In a restaurant called K Peppers here in Middleton, 1901 Cayuga Street, suite number 2. And we're trying to move our restaurant to 601 Junction Road, suite number 2, Madison 53717. Approximately about a month from now, I'm guessing. Projected to open somewhere around end of July. Trying to have some beer items and then wine and hopefully some soft liquor called like soju is a Korean soft liquor and some things like that. So I guess that's it.
Is your current business in the city of Madison?
It's actually in Middleton.
Gotcha. Okay. I was wondering why I hadn't heard of it. So great. Thank you. Committee, what questions do you have for the applicant? Any questions? Mr. Verbeek, do we have any other registrants for this item?
We do not.
Alder Verveer.
Oh, I need to make one correction though, if that's okay.
It is absolutely okay. What is it?
So it says DBA K Pepper. There's actually S in the end. It's called K Peppers with the plural. So I don't know if that's important or not, but I would like to make some correction on that.
The talented and diligent staff from the city clerk's office love precision, so thank you for the correction. Alder Verveer.
Thank you. Eric, thank you for choosing to move your business to the city of Madison. Did I get that correct, that you would be moving your Middleton restaurant?
To Madison, yes.
To Junction Road?
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Thank you. Welcome. So just a couple of quick questions. When you were just testifying, I heard you mention beer and wine, and then was there a third Korean drink? What I'm getting at is, are you requesting a full liquor license or only a beer and wine license? Because you check the Class C wine license box on your application.
Right.
But also liquor.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry. Anyway, if you could just explain what sort of alcohol do you hope to serve?
Just mostly just beers and wine. Just hoping that, I mean, when I was talking to city clerk, they said it just go if there's like a liquor available that I could get it, so I might as well just apply for it. That's why I'm trying to do, but I really don't need that. But I have like there's a Korean liquor called soju. That's something that I'm interested in getting in my restaurant if I can, but that's not the major thing. So I can just go with the beers and wine.
So in a perfect world, you would like what we call a Class B combination liquor and beer license. That's what.
Right.
That's what's noted on our agenda tonight.
I don't need a full bar or anything.
But it sounds like it depends if you won't have to pay perhaps the one-time $10,000 fee for a reserve license. Is that what you're saying? That if we grant the license when it's time to be issued, if we don't have one of those older, what we call grandfathered licenses, then you might decide to just have beer and wine?
Exactly, yes.
I understand. Okay, thank you for explaining that. Then the other thing I wanted to confirm, in your application, you state that there hasn't been a previous alcohol license issued at this address. And the reason I ask is primarily because of your outdoor patio. Was there a restaurant serving food or drink at this location previously in an outdoor patio, or are you creating a new outdoor patio where you say in your license description 4 tables outside of entrance?
So this is the restaurant that we're building at the moment. There's nothing in there. It used to be Biaggi's in there, and they moved out, and it's been empty. So we're building up a small, about like 1,700 square feet, small restaurant, and there's a little space outside, so we thought we could put some tables and chairs. So yeah, nothing was served before, but we're just building up a new one. Did I answer your questions?
Well, that sounds good to me. I just wanted to explain to you, if you haven't already heard, that if you do want to serve food and drink outside, even if it's non-alcoholic drinks, there's the city of Madison zoning code requires the property to have a conditional use permit. It's called for outdoor food and drink. So is this something you're familiar with, that there's another process, or should I explain further for you?
Oh, so we can't serve any food or alcohol or even soft drinks like soda outside of the restaurant? Is that what you're saying?
Correct, until you have the approval of the City of Madison Planning Department, specifically their zoning staff. So it's called, I don't know if you can take notes here, but it's called a conditional use permit for outdoor food and drink. And so it's a very easy process. I don't want to discourage you from considering al fresco dining. I only want to encourage that. But if you're on private property for your outdoor dining, which this would be, right? It wouldn't be on a public sidewalk where you'd have the tables and chairs. It's part of your lease on private property, correct?
Right.
Yeah. So you simply want to contact City of Madison zoning. It's also building inspection. It's technically the building inspection division, and you'll be dealing with them anyway for your inspections that you have to do to have the license issued to you. But let them know that you wish to have outdoor food and drink, and they will explain to you the process that you have to follow. If you don't want to serve food or drink late into the night, then you don't have to appear at another public meeting. It can just be what we call administratively approved by the city zoning staff. It's only if you want to be open late at night with outdoor food and drink that you'd have to go to another public meeting like the one you're in now. So it's pretty simple. You just have to call the Madison building inspection division and explain that you need to talk to someone in zoning about serving food and drink at a brand new restaurant in Madison.
Okay, thank you.
But I just wanted to make sure you do that so you don't open and put the tables and chairs outside and then get tripped up and someone tells you you don't have permission.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're very welcome. Good luck.
Thank
you, Chair.
Mike, for your information, the previous establishment there did include a patio in their licensed premises, and there were no conditions around that.
It's a different suite.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I didn't.
Wait, Jim is
the application,
correcting
it
me.
says that this wasn't a previous
Jim
establishment.
Jim has more information, better than information than I do.
So the chair was looking at Enovino's, which is, I believe, still there, but in a different suite at that address. And I believe he's taking over Biaggi's, which is in near it, but not on the same location as Enovino.
Why on earth do they not have different addresses? Okay. Sorry for the confusion. So
Well, with all that said, Eric, you might find that they'll tell you in city zoning that, oh, there already is an old conditional use permit issued, which is fine, because for those, it runs with the property. It's not by restaurant. It's just by a landlord, if you will. But they'll confirm for you if you need to make a new application or not.
All right.
Okay.
All
right, good luck.
Thanks, Mike. Committee, are there any further questions for this applicant? Mr. Verbeek, are there any other registrants for this item?
There are not.
All right, committee, what is your pleasure?
Move approval.
Your motion to approve from Ms. Westra. Is there a second? Second from Dr. Reese. Any discussion? Hearing none. Any dissent? Hearing none, motion carries. Item 52 is granted. Congratulations, Eric, and thanks for moving to Madison. Next up, item 61. 61 is a report of Madison Police Department. So, anything to which you would like to draw our attention?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think because we missed the May 24th meeting, meaning MPD wasn't here, just an update on the Lush Lounge. As we recall, there was a large private party there on May 21st, 3 days prior to our meeting. Around 1:30 a.m., we responded to shots fired. Clearly, it was in the news that there was a homicide. 32-year-old man was shot and killed at that location. It still remains an ongoing investigation for the Madison Police Department. And then the only other update I have is from State Street in general. We have increased our officers that are working the event on Friday and Saturday nights. Event meaning what we call DSI, the Downtown Safety Initiative. And we are experiencing a large volume of juveniles on the State Street area into the wee hours of the morning, exposing youth to a lot of different issues, from large-scale fights to the bar scene. And it's something that we're still trying to maneuver with staffing and problem solve. So those two items are the only ones that I have for updates regarding our calls for service.
When you say youths, do you mean like 18 or 14 or 6 or?
We've encountered 14-year-olds, 13-year-olds, all the way on up to 20-year-olds underage. Yep.
Mr. Bruchak, then Dr. Reese.
And there's no restriction, ordinance, or law against them, juveniles being out at that time of day.
Correct. The curfew no longer exists.
Dr. Reese?
Question about Lush Lounge. I know they had other parties scheduled in the near future that they canceled, but is there any further action going on there?
Assistant City Attorney Zillaby has been quite involved with this, I believe. I've seen emails back and forth with the district captain as well, if that's correct, Attorney Zillaby.
Yeah, and she didn't stop having events. She was planning on continuing to have events even after that homicide. And so I obtained a temporary restraining order that was served on her, and the business has been closed since then. And actually, the East District captain informed me this afternoon that he saw the owner loading things into a U-Haul trailer. So hopefully that is indeed the end of Lush.
Thank you.
Thank you for that update. Committee, what other questions do you have for our representative from MPD? Thank you very much. Mr. Verbeek, what would you like to draw to our attention?
I have nothing, but I'd welcome any questions the committee has.
Committee, what questions do you have for Deputy City Clerk Verbeek? All right, that was easy. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Your motion to adjourn from Mr. Bruchak. Is there a second? Second from Ms. Westra. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed have the same privilege. Motion carries. ALRC is adjourned at 7:59 p.m.
Night, everybody.